Steve, it's Misha Gabrielle of Bitesize Irish. Hi, I'm Gabrielle from Bitesize Irish, and here is a video of a chat that I had with our member Bridget. And the first thing I asked her was to introduce herself as Gaeilge.
Bridget is anam dom, is os on New Helen May, bos eran dogma eha, bos eran shinshe mo waher. It's just ava on shot on new.
Ita, tá sé go hálan hu echa, Bridget. Thank you so much. It's lovely to see you. Gur mágat. All the way from New Helen, from New Zealand. So we're just going to have a chat today about learning Gaeilge, why you started, how you started, and what you've been doing with Bitesize and Bitesize Pobal. So the first question that I'd love to ask you is, why did you start learning Irish?
When I think about it, there's been many reasons over the years that sort of planted the seed. And like my mother's ancestors are from Care in Enniskillen in Ireland, and they came to New Zealand in the 1950s and the 1960s. And my dad came to New Zealand from Crostoni, County Cavan in the 1950s by ship. I have an Irish passport because of my dad, and I always have sort of felt a little bit guilty that I'm so not Irish. And I did spend 3 weeks in Ireland in 2011, and I was planning on going back next year, depending on the world, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, but growing up, my dad did not speak Irish, but he did always used to say Slán August Scanari on Buchalat when we'd go to bed, like goodbye and safe journey. And after hearing it hundreds of times, I still did not know how to say it. And and just my brother's kids are bilingual. Their mum's Samoan. And my nephew is, the older he gets, the more he doesn't speak it. And I was telling him, you're going to regret that, if you forget, you're going to regret that later. And he sort of pointed at me and my brothers and he says, well, you don't speak Irish. And I thought he was actually proving my point. But equally, I thought, okay, well, you're right. We should learn it, and speak it. But it came about late one night when you get stuck in the YouTube vortex when it's near midnight and you don't know why you're still on the phone, and just almost without thinking, I thought, yes, I want to learn Irish, and did a bit of searching and found that there was the 1 month free trial, and what I liked about it is that the Bitesize never asked for a credit card, which made me feel like they were very honest people, and that it really was only 1 month, that you weren't going to get stuck with some bill, and and so that's where it started really.
Oh, wow. So when was that? When did you do that free trial? Because we don't have the 30-day free trial anymore. We have a taster membership where you get a taste of a few different courses. So when did you do your free trial?
Well, I wasn't really sure, but as you were kind enough to let me know what you were going to ask me, I did look up the emails and I saw that it was 12 a.m. In February the 9th, 2018.
Okay, wow.
Yeah. And so I did Bitesize for about 3 or 4 months. And then my niece told me about how you could do Duolingo for free. So I started doing Duolingo and stopped Bitesize. But I found I still do Duolingo, but I find it does not help you with having conversations unless you want to talk about drinking milk or who's in the fridge, it's not that helpful. Yeah, and I returned back to Bitesize. I again had to check emails. I actually returned February the 8th this year.
Oh.
For the past 10. Yeah, it was weird. Must be that time of year.
Yeah, the new year, new me.
Yeah, in the middle of the night.
And so you swapped over to Bitesize. Was it Speaker you came to first, or did you swap over to Grow when we launched those in August or in April?
When I came back this year, I thought, and because I thought what will be different than last time if I just did the same plan again. So I did the higher plan, which was Speaker, so you could talk to other people and join Pebble, and then in April or March it changed to Grow.
Yeah, that was it. So
April. No.
Yeah, I think it was April. So It was when once the pandemic hit, Owen decided that he wanted to make it more available to everyone. And it really worked because, I mean, you can see the difference in Pobal now compared to when you joined in February.
There's heaps more people and heaps more happening, and a lot of people getting involved. And
so I suppose we'll move on to Pobal then. Like, what does Pobal mean to you as a learner, and how do you use it?
Pobal has been really good for me in connecting with other learners, and I have like new WhatsApp buddies from England, California because of Pobal, and we met this morning, and they have become my motivators because they're super competitive and they're a lot more advanced than me, but hopefully I motivate them too. And there's something always happening in Pobal, like word of the week, and like Siobhan does BO once a week where they run through a set conversation. I always like to be at that, and they do like live chats that I like to go to, and I found that really helpful because my Gaeilge Gach is so limited. Most of the chat is in Bela, so it's good for people who don't have much Irish to get to know the other people in the community and build their confidence and things. And, so with Pebble, it's also good in that I can use Google Translate a lot and just, if to find out what everyone's saying. I try not to reply too much in Google Translate because many people have said it's not always correct. And I also find it quite depressing when I read back something that I've written and I don't know what I'm saying. So I sort of use Google Translate just to check if I'm on the right track.
That's really good, and it's a really good point because Google Translate and Irish don't go very well together at all, but it's really good for figuring out what people are saying or typing, and like maybe getting an idea of how to say something, and then going back and kind of learning the grammatical structure or whatever. But I probably should have said before I asked you about Pebble was that Pebble is our online forum, our community forum, just for anyone who doesn't know, where we have different challenges. And like you said, the live chat where either myself, Owen, or Siobhan are there usually on a Wednesday. And I actually really enjoy those too, because it's like just a chat. I posted like a Kesh Spraga, which is like a motivating question, but we generally don't really talk about that for very long, and it just goes on to, you don't even know where it's going to go sometimes. It's usually it's usually about something to do with the Irish language or Ireland, but it could go anywhere. I see there's some interesting posts on Pebble at the moment. I think is it Charles is posting about the etymology of words, and Garnet's getting really into it as well. So posting like where
you mean Garnade?
Garnade, yes, he has recently
changed his Irish name
to Irish. Yes. And so that's really interesting too. I find that fascinating because I would have done a lot of work on that about 10 years ago when I was really studying Irish during my master's, but I feel like I've lost it. So they're kind of inspiring me to go back and like really dive into where the words are coming from. It's really great. So I'm getting a lot out of Pebble too. What do you think the biggest hurdle has been for you to learn Irish?
Originally, I think it was not having anyone to practice with, but now the hurdle is myself. So just learning to ignore the nagging doubt that makes you think you're not getting anywhere, and the shyness about it and about using it. Yeah. But also making sure that that it is important each day. And like, even if it's, just like passive listening to something in Irish, if you're not actually doing a lesson or something like that.
Yeah.
Like Owen's always saying Gaeilge Gach Lá, like Irish every day. And I think that's important, because even a few days away from it, it's so hard to get back into it again. You feel like what? I'm back to square one again.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I totally understand. And I know that we've had a couple of members who have been a bit, haven't been on on the community forum on Bitesize Pobal a lot. And then they come back and they're like, sorry, I was away. And but obviously we welcome them back. But you do notice some people drop off and then come back, and you wonder where they are. Especially because people are posting so frequently.
Yeah.
So what else do you do in your little private WhatsApp group? What else? Are you following a book or?
Yeah, we've gone through 3 children's books now, but I've asked that we repeat those books personally, because I find that it's a lot to retain, all what we've done so far. So I just wanted to go through and read them again together. And like usually we just chat about whatever, or if some new lesson that we've learned or something like that. Garnet and Peter both have the same verb book, so they love looking up verbs together. So we've got Sean as well, who's joins us infrequently. So he's sort of part of the group, but also he made some joke about missing more meetings than some politician. Sorry, I missed the joke. But yeah. So it's just like so it has been difficult with the time zones. So I usually have to, they don't mind changing the times, but then it makes it bad for everybody rather than just bad. Yeah, it's not that bad, but it is Sunday today, and we started at 7 a.m. today.
Okay.
And then the same with when Siobhan's and with the Siobhan's when she does the scripts each week. It's 8 p.m. and it's 8 p.m. in Ireland, which is 7 a.m. here the next day.
Yeah.
So which will suit me quite well when I'm back at work. But and because I'm still like not very good at all, I like to then get up earlier to just read through it and re-listen to the MP3 things, again, just to remember what's happening. And because you can practice it quite a number of times the day before, but then if you just wake up, I don't know, it takes my brain quite a while to start remembering again.
Absolutely. And I mean, there's so much in, like, some of the scripts, there's so much in them that, like, you're learning something completely different to what, say, probably like Peter is learning, because there's something in them for everyone, I think. And just what you were saying about going back over the children's books, don't think that that's just for you, because you can guarantee that the others haven't remembered everything from them either. Definitely. We always, no matter how good you are or how fluent, or I have a bit of an issue with the word fluent, and I think Owen does too, but like, no matter how much Irish you have, you're still always going to be constantly learning. Like, I'm constantly learning, and I've been speaking Irish for, I don't know, 25 years, 28 years. I don't know, I'm not going to do the maths now. But I suppose.
And oh, sorry. I was just going to say that Garnet does just a members get together just to practice as well once a week. So he's been doing that it's his time Sundays, so it's at my Monday.
And then we've a potential new one coming as well.
That's right. Announcement to be made.
Yeah, exactly. So I suppose to finish off, what do you think your kind of goal, or do you have any goals, or what do you think of setting goals, or do you want to just keep going the way you're going?
I think I will keep going as I am in some ways, but I think I need to be a little bit more, have a set time, I think. But like with COVID and everything, I've been in lockdown and I've been working from home. So, like there's been a lot more flexibility with things in a lot of ways. But going into the future, like actually, so I've actually been made redundant, and so where I work is closing down at the end of the month. So at that stage, I guess it just depends what the next job is, and what how much travel's involved and all that sort of thing. So goal setting, I guess I would just say, sorry, this is taking a long way of saying.
No, I didn't ask a proper question.
I think the goal is to still just make sure I'm doing some Irish every day. And though I did do some things, because I find that I don't do many lessons, because sometimes you get so busy with Pebble that you're not actually doing any lessons. And recently you guys have started the leaderboard, which was initially quite a good incentive, to get points on the leaderboard. But once you dropped off the leaderboard, you're like, oh, well, so what I did get was it's like an extra thing you can get where it's all it's the Bitesize audio program.
Yeah.
And I've found that quite helpful, because sometimes you just get so busy that you feel like there is no time for it. But, like that's quite good in that I can go for a walk and I can be listening to it and practicing. Yeah. And then I've done two things at the same time.
Yeah. Another thing that you could use for that is the lesson walkthroughs as well. They might be good.
That's right.
Yeah, because they're just videos that are on Pebble and also on our blog. So you should be able to. I mean, your phone would have to probably be on the whole time, but yeah, it would work.
Yeah.
I think they're good too, and we've had like lots of people get in touch about them as well, because I think people like that, they want to be able to do something at the same time as they're learning. Sometimes. You'd listen to a podcast and you do the dishes. I suppose that's the same.
That's right.
It? Yeah. So it's nice to have that option as well. That's really good. So we're going to.
And also because I work on the computer a lot for work, and it gets like where you feel like you've just spent 14 hours on the computer or something.
Yeah.
Or on a screen. So it is really good. Yeah, where you're not actually looking at the screen, where you're just listening to it or.
Yeah,
while
definitely.
Doing something else.
Well, thanks so much for chatting to me this morning. It's been really great. And let's hope we can all continue with our Gaeilge Gach Lá.
That's right.
Thanks so much for listening to my chat with Bridget today. If you'd like to join Bridget as a Grow member and have access to Bitesize Pobal, Bitesize Coursey, Bitesize Bio every week, and also all the different member events that we have going on, go to bitesize.irish/memberships and sign up as a Grow member. Slán go fóill.